Welcome to the only daily podcast focusing on compliance news of the day. Each morning, start your day with a cup of coffee and Tom Fox, the voice of compliance, to hear about 4 of the top compliance, corruption, or leadership stories you will need to start your day. The Daily Compliance News is a production of the Compliance Podcast Network.
First, a word from this month's sponsor, Ethico.
In the delicate arena of compliance, every conversation matters. Traditional methods can leave callers feeling unheard, but Ethico changes the game. Our empathetic interview technique reshapes compliance calls into powerful, compassionate interactions, ensuring no crucial detail is missed. It's about creating a conversation that matters, that resonates, that makes a difference. Be the change in your compliance approach. See the transformation for yourself at ethico.com/CPN. Book a demo, try our free ROI calculator, and explore the white paper by Tom Fox, The ROI of Compliance.
The Daily Compliance News for June 7, 2024, the Car Wash Goes Dirty edition. And we begin with that story from the Financial Times of the effervescence of the car wash corruption work done in Brazil by the current Lula administration. The gentleman named Dias Toffoli has dismantled the complete legacy of the car wash investigation to the point where in May, Jose Leslie and Wesley Batista, the 2 billionaire brothers behind the meat-packing giant JBS, who had the largest FCPA fine in the history of the world ever at one time, are back sitting with the office of President Lula. So the legacy of car wash is now that it's dirty, and corruption is back in play in Brazil at the very top levels. Next up from NPR, a key Boeing supplier who builds a fuselage for the company, Spirit Aero Systems, is now being bought by Boeing. And the work done in the plan presented to the FAA by Boeing includes purchasing of its suppliers. So this could be something that might start to change the culture at Boeing, particularly if they bring quality back to the fore instead of their quarterly numbers that took them to such grief. Next up, from the New York Times, the Washington Post CEO has really stepped in it, as not only did he fire, apparently, the former editor-in-chief, but he did so because she wanted to name him as the allegations in Britain's phone hacking scandals. NPR reported that Will Lewis, the chief executive, offered an exclusive interview to NPR if the reporter would agree not to write about the allegations against him. This certainly does not bode well for one of the nation's premier newspapers, and I can only think it's going to get worse. And our final story comes to us from the Wall Street Journal, Risk and Compliance Journal. Richard Vandeford reporting that leading Chinese battery companies with ties to Ford and Volkswagen should be banned from shipping goods to the U.S., a group of Republican senators have said. It's always interesting when the Republicans find something to complain about, and it's actually pro-USA. The Daily Compliance News is a production of the Compliance Podcast Network and a proud member of C-Suite Radio. Thanks so much for listening. I hope you'll join me again tomorrow.